Nice. Mount Rudmore here, and I am back with another BB24 stream. Um, I was planning on doing this last night, but I was not feeling great, so I'm like, I can push it off a day. Might have a few more things to talk about, but as it turns out, nothing has happened today. It's still not even clear what the results of the vetoes were. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, of course, we have a quite literal split house. Half are inside, half are outside. There's Big Brochella and there's Dire Fest. And boy, is Dire Fest living up to that name. Wow, I have 4 viewers already. Hello, everybody. Skylar Rain 88, hello. Thank you for being here. Uh, so, there's two different games to talk about. So, I'm gonna I'm gonna take a page out of Taryn's notebook here, and I'm gonna talk about them individually. Let's just talk about one side and then go over to the other side. 5 viewers, dang, that's a lot for me. That doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, that's something. Anyway, I am going to start with where most of the buzz of this week has been, which is outside at Direfest, and Terrence's HOH, which I still cannot believe is a sentence I'm saying out loud. Oh, I'm back to 3 viewers. I'm just kidding. Terrence was making it clear right away. He wants Joseph out. And to me, I was thinking, if he doesn't win the veto, this could very well happen. Because even if one of the showmans is on the block with him, then, you know, Turner would vote out the showmance, but then the other half of the showmans would vote Joseph out. And Terrence would break the tie and send Joseph home. So it's like, Joseph doesn't win the veto, he's pretty much up the creek. Now, at first, it seemed like Kyle was going to be the one to go up with him. And I mean, I could actually see some strategic value in Terrence going that route. Putting up Joe, who he thinks is a threat, and Kyle, who is also a threat and in a showmance. Just throwing this out there, though, Kyle has 2 veto wins. Joseph has 0 wins of any kind. So, yeah, just throwing that out there. But yes, at first it seemed like Joseph and Kyle were going to be the noms. And then Kyle. He goes ahead and he spills the beans about the leftovers. First to Alyssa and then to Terrence. And I'm just like, Kyle, these two, they are all you're going to have going forward. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, yes, Kyle is in kind of a shaky spot with the rest of his alliance, but he really could have proved his worth to them if, like, he just sort of accepted Alyssa going up and like pushed for her to be targeted. But no, he's chosen Alyssa over 6 people. He's choosing one person with no wins over 6 people, 5 of whom have wins. So yeah. And Kyle, he gets to work. He works so hard. I'm still so mad at Kyle's actions. Yeah. But I mean, he did it. He got what he wanted. He convinced Terrence to put up Joseph and Turner. And it's like, basically, no matter what happens, odds are one of them's going to leave unless something really insane happens. unless Terrence is somehow able to be persuaded to go for the showmance. But yeah, it was not looking good for Joseph and Turner, specifically Joseph. Like Joseph wins the veto, then Turner is done. And I'm just thinking, Kyle, at this point, you are buried to the rest of the leftovers. They're gonna come for you and your showmance. Like you and Alyssa are safe this week, but if you two don't win HOH next week, then you know. So feeds go down for the nomination ceremony, and they come back to just dead silence in the yard. And it takes a while for it to become official, but you can tell just from how Joseph and Turner looked. Like they did not look happy, and it was pretty obvious that they were the nominees. Terrence is talking to Alyssa, says it's going to be an awkward night, and Alyssa's like, it's going to be a long week. Oh boy, is it ever going to be a long week for you folks out there. And eventually it is confirmed that yes, Joseph and Turner are nominated. Sorry, hit a button on my laptop by accident. It just surprised me. I can't choose which one I want to stay more than I want them both. More, I want them both to stay till the end. I wanted them both to go farther for sure. But I mean, all of Twitter is like, we want Joseph to stay. And I'm just like, I mean, on a personal level, I like Turner more than Joseph. I like Joseph, but Turner's just so entertaining. It's like, I kind of want to see what Turner's like without Jasmine in the house. Also, like, if Turner and Jasmine go out together, that like he ends up in the jury house, and then boom, there's Jasmine. This poor guy is just trapped with her. So, Kyle, he keeps on gaming, and he wants Alyssa and Terrence to say that Joseph outed the leftovers on his way out. And I'm just thinking, do you really think this is going to work? Do you think Turner will go along with this? I mean, ostensibly the plan would change if Joseph won the veto. Turner outed the leftovers on his way out. But in that case, why would Joseph go along with that? That's just like, there's no reason this should work. But, you know, I've said it before. This season has taken so many unexpected turns. And it's like, I can't, I can't assume anything. And we're just blowing through this because there's not a lot to talk about. Typically, Final Five, a lot of people have talked about this. At Final Five, typically the feeds are pretty like sometimes they're pretty boring. Not always, but sometimes. Because it's like, the plans are set. Usually at that point, it's like most of the majority alliance and then like one outsider, maybe. So yeah, we're already at the veto competition. And wouldn't you know it, Terrence wins again. This is like this is like the anti-Jessica HOH from BB21. Like Jessica, everyone was like, she's not going to win anything this whole season, not a chance. But then not only did she win HOH, she also won veto. But the difference is that Jessica nominated the Jacks. who were just absolutely despised by the entire fan base. I don't even think the casuals liked them that much. And then Jessica won the veto and kept him there. And now here we are with Terrence, someone we also didn't think would win. But unlike Jessica, we never really liked. Like, everyone liked Jessica, just no one really thought she'd do anything. And no one thought Terrence would do anything, and no one really wanted him to. And now here he is, suddenly winning his first competition, HOH, and then winning his second competition, Veto, in the same week, 2 days apart. Would Terrence leave both of them on the block, or is there a way of someone in Dire Fest changing his mind? Well, I mean, Joseph and Turner obviously would try to change his mind, but then, of course, Kyle and Alyssa will be convincing him, trying to convince him not to use it. But I mean, when I heard Terrence won, I just, like, Terrence winning the veto was not a great outcome, but it was also not the worst. The worst was Kyle or Alyssa winning it, in which case, obviously, they're not using it. With Terrence having it, there's still just the tiniest bit of hope that maybe, just maybe, Joseph can work some of his magic that he has worked throughout the season so far and convince Terrence maybe we need to start looking at the showmance. I mean, Joseph is still loyal to the leftovers and the pound, which is him, Kyle, Turner, and Monty. Like that was how the leftovers started. It's like they then brought in Michael, Brittany, and Taylor to secure the numbers, and then they became the pound evolved into the leftovers. But still, they were like, we're sticking to the pounds. And I think Joseph would still be loyal to Kyle, even though Joseph does not realize, at least it doesn't appear as though he's realized that um, that Kyle has betrayed him and Turner. But Joseph could possibly talk Terrence into going for the showmance, going for Alyssa, and the fact that she does have some loose lips. But then, of course, there is also the fact that Joseph might need to be a little cutthroat and say, not only is Kyle in a showmance, but he's won 2 vetoes. I haven't won anything. Turner's only got 1 win so far. So Joseph has some paths forward here. He just really needs to work his magic. And we still aren't sure if he has. At least I'm not sure. I haven't checked the feeds since I started doing this stream. Oh, I just saw your comment. This was not the week where Terrence needed to start winning comps. No, it was not. It was not. Yeah, I'm not sure why they see Joseph as a threat if he hasn't won anything yet. Kyle sees him as a threat because he thinks all the people of color are working together. And yet he is persuading a person of color, Terrence, to go for Joseph. So, like, this, at the very least, should clue Kyle into the fact that maybe they aren't all working together. But no, he's just going to assume that they are still all working together. Like, he's got it in his head that Joseph, Monty, and Taylor are a trio. And it's like they work together well. They have good relationships with each other, but they are not like a trio in the same way Taylor, Michael, and Brittany is. And I've talked about this before. Like, Kyle would be able to see this if he wasn't from Utah. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep talking smack about Utah forever because, like, Kyle almost convinced me that he was actually not what I expected from a contestant from Utah. But no, he is playing a very Utah game right now. I'm sorry. Kyle, definitely not my favorite person in the house right now. No. Anyone who does like Kyle gets blocked immediately from me. I'm just like, I'm not listening to you. I'm just not. I hate him more than Jasmine, and that's saying something. See, here's what's interesting. Like, nobody likes Jasmine. And like when she was HOH, I was thinking like with this week, she's gonna just be so unbearable that she's gonna drop to the bottom of the daily polls and she's gonna stay there. But no, it was Paloma for a long time, then briefly Nicole, now it's Smelvis. Kyle's not at the bottom yet, but he is dropping. And Jasmine, she's been kind of holding steady, like around number 11. Like she's moved a little here and there, but on average, she's been like 11th. And I think the reason for that is, as annoying as Jasmine is, she's useless. She stumbled into her HOH. Amira ran the whole week, and like Jasmine has not really done anything. She's annoying, but she hasn't really derailed the game. Paloma derailed the game. And then Smelvis and Nicole kept it going. And now Kyle is derailing it. So yeah, Jasmine is a non-entity. Kyle is a straight up threat. Anyway, um, Joseph, he does start putting his work in with Kyle. Again, he thinks that they're still a united front. It's like we're the three leftovers out here, and we're all in the pound. Like we can work together, and we can persuade Terrence. Joseph still thinks Kyle is on his side, and I'm like, it's admirable that you're this loyal, that you can't see that Kyle has betrayed you, but he has, and yeah. But he says to Kyle, like, you, me, and Turner, we should approach Terrence together and say that Alyssa exposed the old school alliance, which was another one of Amira's things. It was like Pose Pack and then Old School, which was basically the same, but with Terrence in it, and I think Jasmine also. Possibly Indy. I don't really remember. Like Old School just didn't really matter. But yeah, they say that Alyssa. They say that they should tell Terrence that Alyssa exposed Old School, and it's like I said, Joseph and Turner are loyal, and they don't realize just how bad a position they're in because of Kyle. But at the same time, Kyle would look bad to them if he doesn't really go along with it. But I was thinking, he might tell Terrence beforehand so he isn't surprised, and that is exactly what Kyle did. Because, one thing you can guarantee about a rat is they're going straight for the cheese. And Terrence was the cheese. But Joseph does try to get it into Kyle's head. Like, if you and Alyssa both go back into the house when we all reunite, well, when the reunion happens, like if me or Turner are gone and you and Alyssa are still there, you are done. They are going to be coming for you. And we'll talk about the other side soon. But yeah, Joseph said that to Kyle, and then the feeds went down on that side of the house, and they have been down since I last checked. They've been down for 2 days now outside, and it is there is some compelling evidence that there was a wall yeller. T. Ranqan, what do you think about the wall yeller? Uh, well, I think there was a wall yeller. I think that's why the feeds have been down for uh for 2 days now. Apparently, they said something like, "You can't trust Kyle," or "Save Joseph." But the feeds have gone down. They've been down for 2 days, apart from like two very quick glimpses of the backyard. And apparently, they've been playing a lot of music out there to try and drown out any potential future wall yellers. And let's analyze this for a second. they're playing music the whole time that these people are out there. They're just subjecting them to this music nonstop. And it's got to be loud to drown out wall yellers. Blasting music like that nonstop, that's a torture method. And I'm not exaggerating. Music in constant light, torture, exactly. Like this is like borderline Guantanamo Bay stuff. Like it's Big Brochella and Guantanamo Bro Bay. And a lot of people have said the optics about this kind of Guantanamo Bay level torture with Joseph out there, who is Middle Eastern. And I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that is not a good look. It's like Daryl and the Saviors from The Walking Dead. Exactly. Daryl was locked in a cell and subjected to Easy Street on a loop. That freaking song. It also happened on Ozark. Jason Bateman was locked in a cartel basement and they blasted like Spanish language heavy metal music the whole time. That looked like a pretty miserable experience. So yeah, there. My guess is that there was in fact a wall yeller because that's the only reason I can think of as to why feeds were down, have been down for 2 days, as far as I know. Like I'm gonna check at the end to see if there have been any updates. But yeah, at last time I checked, we still did not know what the results of the veto meeting were. Like it is now Tuesday here on the East Coast, and typically it's Monday morning that the veto meeting happens. And I don't think we really know the results of either side per se. And yeah, this is just insane at this point. They don't put the results up on their website or anything. No, just like typically feeds come back and you just kind of piece together from what they're saying or see the faces on the memory wall. Although outside that'd be a little tricky because there's no wall outside. It was the nomination ceremony was just they were all sitting around a tiny table, and Terrence just had to straight up say who his nominees were instead of like doing the thing where he turns the keys in the nomination block and the faces appear on the memory wall. Just no, Terrence just had to say, my first nominee is Joseph. My second nominee is Turner. All right, so that's Dire Fest. It is dire out there. But they really got the name right. Well, let's go back inside to Big Brochella, and things have been smoother in there. The talks have been calmer. Fees have been going in and out, but um, we do have a better picture of what's going on inside. And you know, we saw in the episode last night, like while everyone was packing for Dire Fest, Big Brochella, they got to go up to the HOH room and they got pizza and alcohol. So yeah, they're just like, don't worry about them. But yeah, Michael's HOH, and he tells Jasmine that Monty is the target, which basically confirms that Monty is going to be nominated. But he just sort of says without saying that she's going to be going up with him. And she does try to pull the "It's my birthday week, don't pull me up, don't put me up" card. And it's like, Jasmine, your birthday week was not in this HOH week, okay? In Big Brother, a week is not Sunday to Saturday. A week is HOH to HOH. So your birthday. was on was last Wednesday, the 17th, the day before the eviction. You can't keep saying it's your birthday week as an excuse. I was gonna say she said the same to Taylor. LOL. Uh, wait, what did she say to Taylor? That it's her birthday week. Yeah, she did say that to Taylor as to why she shouldn't put her up. Yeah, and then like we get a DR last night where Jasmine says like she doesn't want to go up in her birthday month, and I'm just like, well, then you probably should have left in July. She said with her birthday week and Taylor's late choice. Yeah, I got you. Here's what I think Jasmine's birthday month is. It is not the month of August. I think it is the start of Leo season in July to the end of August. I like Leo season starts like July 20th, 21st, that area. And then like her birthday month just goes it starts there and goes to August 31st. Yes, August 31st. That's Virgo season. But no. No, that's still her birthday month. The start of Leo season to August 31st is Jasmine's birthday month. That's my prediction because that's what she that's the vibe she gives me. I just spit all over my phone, pardon me. So Monty also talks to Michael and says, I I totally understand that I'm probably the move here, but I do trust that Jasmine is the target. And Michael's like, whew, that's a relief. And so Jasmine and Monty are the nominees, which is what I expected as soon as I learned what the team split was. I'm just like, yeah, Michael is definitely putting up Jasmine and Monty. Jasmine is the target, but if she wins the veto, then, you know, Michael will have no choice but to take a shot at the leftovers. And, you know, Monty, he does have an HOH to his name. He is a very social player. He's a very personable guy. He gets along with everybody. You know, if Michael's got to take that shot, he'll take it. But the moment Jasmine is the target. And this one was kind of painful to hear, knowing what we know about outside. Taylor says to Brittany that she is scared of Joseph not coming back. And I'm just like, oh god. If Joseph does leave and the the others walk back in and he's not there, oh, she's gonna be devastated. She's gonna be absolutely devastated. That is a lot of crying emojis. But you know, the leftovers on this side of the house, you know, they sort of they oh, he won't even have a chance to say goodbye if he does go. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they are separated until two people are gone. But yeah, it is cruel. This twist is very cruel. But you know, Michael, Brittany, and Taylor, they have had a pretty solid thing going on for a while. You know, they they have a final three with each other. And you know, Michael's been working with Monty, but he's also had his eye on Monty. Like, you know, he might have to take the shot at some point. But he's getting along with Monty, and it's like, you know, you start to think maybe I can go reasonably far with this guy. Like, you know, maybe we can work together. So, veto was used on Turner. Do you think Joe has any chance? The veto was used. Like, hold on, I'm gonna check BB updates real quick. I'm gonna check. I'm just gonna check the internet. Uh, if you're right, the veto was used on Turner. Then I mean, Terrence had all the power. He could have not done that. So the fact that he did tells me possibly he has he may have changed his mind. Hold on, bear with me. That's true. Terrence has to put up one of the showmances. One of the showmans. Yeah. Well, he would have by now. Like it would have already happened. Like Turner comes down and someone else goes up at the same time. Are you sure that you're not just getting this information? You're saying it's Kyle versus Joe. Are you getting this from a verified source or are you getting it from Spoiler Girl? Because she is not always right. You did get it from Spoiler Girl. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm checking a couple of my sources and I'm not really seeing anything official. So yeah, I'm just checking Joker's updates real quick. Yeah, okay. Spoiler Girl has been wrong too many times. I do not trust her anymore. She's doubling down on saying more of her sources confirmed. Okay, well, good for her. Anyway, the veto meeting. I mean, the veto competition on Big Brochella's side. It was surprisingly early. Like, typically it's like Saturday afternoon. I woke up on Saturday to the results of the veto, and Brittany, of all people, has won. Brittany and Terrence are the veto winners this week. I almost said veto wieners, but Brittany and Terrence are the veto winners. Like, what is happening to this world? How did this happen? So Brittany has won, and she's talking about how Jasmine is a pathological liar, which she has hinted at before, and Michael just straight up says that he doesn't want her here anymore. And that tells me that they have no intentions of using the veto. Veto wieners. Someone needs to use that for a final two name in a future season. LOL. That wouldn't be a name they give to themselves. That would be a name given to them by the fan base when they don't like them. Uh, I'll tell you, BB22, the final two were Cody and Enzo. They were a couple of wieners, and they both won vetoes. So yeah, they're veto wieners to me. Yeah, to me, Cody and Enzo, the veto wieners. But yes, at the very least, it does not seem that Brittany is going to use the veto on Jasmine. Maybe she uses it on Monty. In that case, Taylor would go up, but Brittany's had a better relationship with Taylor than with Monty, so I just didn't really see that happening. That did make you laugh. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Um, Monty says that he is worried that Kyle will tell Alyssa about the leftovers. and says if he wasn't aligned with the leftovers after all, then they might have to take a shot at him. Now, they do say that this also applies to Turner. But, yeah, already the people inside the house are thinking, what is Kyle doing out there? Is he going to come back in with Alyssa? And Michael says that Kyle and Alyssa are going up together if they both survive the week. Like, they both come back to the doors, they're the next two going up. If they don't win, obviously. And I think that would be the move, Taylor or Monty or Brittany, should it happen. And I think possibly they could get Turn on board with it as well. Um, Kyle and Alyssa as the nominees. And if one of them wins the veto, then Terrence goes up, and whichever half of the showmance is there, take him out. It'll be final eight. Only two people won't be in the veto next week, which means that there's a good chance that Kyle would be picked, even if they try to backdoor him. So I think in that case, it'd just be best to put him and Alyssa up, straight out, straight up, flat out. I combine those two phrases right there. But yeah, they are talking about Kyle, and it is not positive about him, or at least it won't be positive should things keep going the way they're going. So this is where some things started to get worrisome on the Big Brochella side. So it starts with Monty telling Taylor that it seemed like Michael was throwing the veto competition. And he says that they should probably go for Michael at 5. Initially, he thought final 7, but now he's leaning towards final 5. Like, if Joseph is there, then maybe final 7. But if he's not, then. But he does say to Taylor that Kyle's done for if Joseph doesn't come back. Now, I was thinking that Taylor having this information, I was thinking it was something she should keep to herself. Like, just kind of hold it in, you know, spill this info if you find yourself in a precarious position. But she ended up telling Brittany. And Brittany has been known to talk, often to her own detriment. But, like, she talks about everything with Michael. And Taylor telling her this, I'm just thinking, Brittany is gonna relay this to Michael, and then it could change Michael's mind about targeting Jasmine. In which case, two leftovers would leave, and Kyle would have more power when he comes back in. He'll have Alyssa and Terrence, and then his opposition, Michael, Brittany, and Taylor, would be fractured. Now, the feeds went down on both sides of the house when the wall yeller happened, so we don't know exactly how this conversation went, if it even happened, between Michael and Brittany. But the feeds do eventually come back inside the house. And from what Michael and Brittany are saying, by all accounts, they still want Jasmine out because there are a lot of variables. Like, okay, we could take Monty out now, but what if Joseph is gone on the other side? Like, then we could be in trouble. Like, if Kyle has just like, as Taron Armstrong put it, Kyle has consolidated his power. So they're just thinking like, do we need Monty right now, or can we take him out? Oh, I can't see this ending well for Monty. Um, I I am cautiously optimistic that Jasmine is still the target. So yeah, I'm trying not to panic, but I'm also again not assuming anything. I hope so. I've grown to like Monty. LOL. Yeah, me too. Like I cannot believe how much I like Monty now, considering how he was those first 2 weeks. I mean, he was just like I hated him. I I called him out several times on social media. I said a lot of harsh comments about him, and like I I meant them at the time, but like he really has turned it around. He realized that bashing Taylor was not the right move for his game. Working with Taylor was the right move, and he has apologized to her several times. So you know, I may not forget, but I will forgive. So yeah. Um, anyway, Big Brochella inside. They're talking about how they hear music outside, and at first they're like, "Oh, well, they got the party out there." But then it just kept going on, and they're like, "Okay, this is a punishment for them," and it is, but it wasn't really planned. It's like with the music going that loud, they're trying to drown out the wall yellers, and like I said, they've just been doing it for so long. And the results of the veto meeting inside the house, just like outside, it's not really clear yet. Like I have not really seen any sort of confirmation that the veto has or has not been used. But I did see a rather long GIF of Jasmine looking rather despondent, basically having the same look on her face that Joseph and Turner had when they were nominated. So from the look on her face, I'm thinking that at the very least, she is still nominated. And like I said, I don't see any reason to take Monty down just to put Taylor up. I think that'd be too messy. All right, well, I already did kind of check uh, the feeds. Well, check the internet just to see if I could get any info, just to see if the veto was officially used. But you know, and I'm just sorry. I just got a message from someone, a really nice message. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm gonna check again to see if anything's happened since I last checked 10 minutes ago. Joseph did move up to number one on Big Brother Daily's daily poll, and like that's definitely it's a pity vote. It's just like we'll let him have it for the week, but when the week's over, I imagine Taylor will reclaim her spot. Although she has not been number one for 4 days now, which I mean I don't know. I love Joseph, and the last 3 days were Turner, and I love him too. But come on, let's get Taylor back to number one. Oh, apparently on September 8th, it's another 2 hour episode. The last 2 hour episode was not well received. Maybe I don't know. Oh, Hamster Watch is getting sassy. 48 hours since we had outside feeds, minus two glimpses that together totaled less than Kyle's 10 seconds. Oh, Kyle, Kyle, how? How did you think it was a decent idea to announce on Al Gore's internet that you last 10 seconds? Oh, oh my God. It's just, I, everything about Kyle makes me so angry. Everything. Just thinking about him fills me with rage. It's just, Kyle was in an incredible position. Part of a 7-person alliance, and in no danger from outside the alliance. He really needed to put a lot of effort into sinking his game. So what does he do? He becomes consumed with this baseless and problematic belief that there is an all person of color alliance, despite how obvious it was that Jasmine and Indy hated Taylor, and that Terrence was willing to stay nominated to take a shot at Monty. He was right to say that Monty and Joseph are a duo and plant seeds to Michael and Brittany to try and get them to target Monty and Joseph. But at the same time, he should have planted seeds to Monty and Joseph, telling them to target Michael and Brittany so that he can play the middle. But he didn't do that because he's from Utah and he just wants all the people of color out. He doesn't trust any of them. Oh, but he didn't stop there. He did not stop there. He turned on 6 allies for a girl who was specifically left out of this alliance due to participating in the bullying of Taylor that helped bring this alliance together and give them a cause. She has no wins and the game sense of a penguin playing poker. He didn't use the veto on Taylor's HOH and sold out the leftovers to Terrence just so he and Alyssa could survive one more week. Forget that this is egregious rat behavior, even by Big Brother standards. This is god awful gameplay that, in a perfect world, will make him and Alyssa the target every week until they're gone. He destroyed the leftovers. He destroyed the pound. He's almost certainly destroyed his final 2 with Turner, all to be a small-minded 2-pump chump. When someone is that well-positioned, there are only 2 forces in the world capable of entering someone's mind and ruining it: love and racism. That is a rant I have been wanting to get out for a long time. I feel better now. I feel a lot better now. Oh, Kyle is so screwed when the houses merge again. God willing. Taylor or Monty win HOH next? It's over for him. Brittany, I think it's over for him. Turner, if he figures out the full extent of Kyle's rat behavior, Turner could very well do it as well. But thing is, only 6 people are competing for the next HOH, and him and Alyssa are 2 of them. So there's a there's a 1 in 3 chance that one of them wins HOH. Alyssa, I'm not overly worried about. Or at least I'm not as much as Kyle. This seems like the time that Kyle would win an HOH because it's just like we're just on a trajectory here that is not great. So he could win. He'd probably go for Monty and Taylor. And I think, you know, they'd probably take out Monty at that point, whether that's who Kyle wants to take out or not. And I feel like Terrence would want to take him out. So yeah, I think in that case Monty would go. But then Kyle's not able to play for HOH the next week. Then he'll have to rely on Alyssa and Terrence winning it. Like, Kyle, you need to win out from here with Alyssa and Terrence. Terrence can't even compete for HOH next week. And like I said, Alyssa has no wins. So yeah, good luck to you. You have to win out from 8. It's just it's just sad. I said this before, and I've said this on social media. He could have like rebuilt some trust with the alliance if he did help to take out Alyssa this week on this side of the house. But he didn't. So that's where we're at. Uh, this twist is ongoing, and it's become rather tricky to figure out what's even happening because of this twist. He was doing so well, and he threw it all away for a showman that probably won last outside the house. Oh, not a chance. In the quite likely event that he does not win the game, uh, when the show ends, when he and Alyssa have an argument, he will bring up that he sacrificed $750,000 for her, and then that should probably sink him from there. Like last year's Alyssa and Christian didn't last long, but they were at least able to be friends, I think. But yeah, I I think I think this is going to be an ugly breakup, like a Jackson and Holly level breakup. I think that'll do it for me. Uh, been at it almost an hour. I talked about all there is to talk about, which again wasn't much because feeds have been down for 2 days on one side of the house and they've been in and out on the other side. And even then, everything's kind of everything's kind of solid there. Like the plan seems to be established, and we're just kind of waiting it out. So that will do it for me. Thank you, Scarlett, for watching. Thank you, Tran QAN or Tran QAN. Thank you for being here as well. Imagine how long your next stream will be when they do come back. Oh, I'm sure I'll get one up fast. Bye. by TranQN and by Scarlet Rain 88. And I will see you both next time. Well, I'll see Scarlet next time. TranQN, I hope to see you again. But yes, peace out.